Right. All right. Okay. All right. Perfect. There you go. We can start.
The presentation.
You want the presentation?
Yes,
Okay.
Give the presentation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Right. You
Okay.
use that or
You use that.
whatever.
But it is here on the slide. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
Perfect. This is the first one.
Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. Good morning for all the people who is present today in this room. I am very honored to present the Romanian government here. My name is Ileana Spiroiu, and I am the director of the National Center of Cartography. This authority, it is the only one authority in a government who work with all the ministry and all the agency who use spatial information and spatial data about maps. I'm very glad because I know you that days and because we can to be together because now I know your profile. I know that you work more in architecture lands and in the construction. And in this situation, probably my presentation will be orientated in that way. Okay, I will come to use the cartographic information with your point of view about your field of activity. Okay, please let me to present my colleague Livioara Brașoveanu, who is here. My colleagues, it's counselor in the center and the girl who works so hard in our center, and thank you so much because helped me to have this presentation for today. Livioara is here, and probably in the future, the new generation will take place, our generation, and will be very good for the Romanian government, the Romanian people. Okay, who are we? The Nation Center is a public institution with legal personality in suborder of the National Agency for Cadastral and Land Registration. Why is this suborder? Because in our country we have 42 local offices when the property of the owner is registered. And the cadastre for Romania is a so very, very important domain of activity. Why? Because you know that in 1989, in the east of Europe, we have a big revolution. The communist period stopped to be, and we began a new era for our country. And after this revolution, this communist period have a problem with the property because all the lands was the property of the state. And because until the war we have property from the owner, the government decided in 1919 to return all the lands to the owners. It was a big, big challenge for all, because for us, the cadastre people was the big challenge because must put all the owners in the old places until the 1960 to go in the field and make the good identification of these parcels for that owners. Was a huge work to identify the parcel on the land. The government write the title of property for the owners and return all the property for that people. This activity was in Romania more than 30 years. In this moment, the title of property was directly returned to the people in a percent to 19.4. 19.4% of the lands returned to the owner in this moment. And all the surveyor, because I am surveyor, yeah, I am geotechnical engineer, all the surveyor in the country work to return the lands to the owner. We, the National Center of Cartography, have the duty to put on the map and reflect to the cadastre lands in the map, in the official map, and also to maintain in the life the geographic and the demographic information about the lands, the buildings, and the owners. Okay, National Center is only one authority in this field, and the center have the duty to assure the product of the maps, official maps in Romania. That institution is now structured in a few departments like cartography and photogrammetry, geodesy and research development, IT&C, ensure the support by economic and legal, public relation, and all the support for the geodetical and research development to create new project and sustain that activity in our center. Our history is more than 65 years and was founded in 1958, and our period is always dedicated to have a constant activity in our field. A short history about our products. Please give you in my back. It is the books, little books to present our production, and we will offer you. We have many activities in the base map, in the vector, to collect the vector map and to have introducing a GIS program. We use S3 platform, and we have the official map with all the layers structured in the S3 application. We have also thematics map focus, save the world. We use the LiDAR and GIS program for make data analysis. Our big production is structured on the top row 5. How is the top row 5? It's a Romanian topographical map scale 5000. This scale is all vector. Yes, you use the vector, and we have some layers like administrative boundaries. Administrative boundaries is very important because our country have 42 local counties and 8 regions of development. The 8 regions of development have the local offices for cadastre and land book. Number of the local offices was 42. And these local offices give the data and send the data from the local district to our center. And we make a big analysis, stock it the data on the servers, and with 100 people to produce the maps in that way. Okay, the first is administrative boundaries, yes? Another layer is the hydrography. Another is buildings, geodetical points. Why geodetical points? Because we have the surveyor and because we have the, it's possible to have maximize for this, because maximize for the image. Sorry.
No. No.
No, it is, but probably the people can do. Yes,
Yeah, it's big.
it's big. Okay, this is important to be big in the back.
Yeah.
Yes, and geodetical point. Why geodetical points? Because we are surveyor, because we have the data for the surveyors who work in the field and collected the data. The network of Romania, the geodetical network from Romania is also our duty, and we must maintain this database in good way. Buildings, how means buildings? On the maps, we have the lands and also the buildings of the people. And when we go to the register in the cadastre and land book, we have in a part E, the first part of the land book, information about immovable, information about the land. In a two part, we have the information about owners. And in the three part, we have information about between part, yes, information about restriction and mortgage. Yeah, if you go to buy a land, the first information is about the land book. Go to local offices in our area of activities and pay a modest sum. It's not more than 3 euros or 4 euros, and say, look, this is extracted for the land book. And you have the information about the immovable and information about owner. And also if the immovable can be lands or buildings or both, yes, we have the information if is or not mortgage, if or not the restriction to construction, if or not have a public information about that lands or that building is in to the court in a litigum. Yes, this is many information about the situation of the immovable. The immovable means building and lands. Okay, and another layer is point of interest. Point of interest is many information on the map about the how it's possible to visit in a country. Yes, it's possible to visit the museum, to go to the public institution. You can to know where is the police, where is the hospital, where is the school, or many other information. This topography, this official map, has in digital format all this information. The map is in our coordinates, the system of coordinates. If you was last day attention about the presentation in Moldova, was a slide to present the comparison of the two systems in Romanian coordinated systems and in Moldova. We work with GPS. We have 72 total station who considerate the first class for measurement coordinates in Romania. The station, this station, it's put only, not only, yes, it's put on the buildings of the local offices and monitorize all time the coordinates in the field to the surveyor who have the measurement for cadastre. Yes, we maintain this 72 total local station, okay. And put together the information on Moldova with Ukraine with Bulgaria, and we also with Hungary. It's our neighbors. I have a problem now with Ukraine because there is war, like you know, and unfortunately our border, because we have the border to the Black Sea and also to the Danube River, and now problems because the proximity of our countries were not too much 2 kilometers. We have 2 ports to the Black Sea. To Ukraine was damaged last 2 weeks, and the fire and the explosion was felt so so difficult in our country and on our people. Yeah. Okay. 20. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
This is the official map. You can to use the brochure and to look on that and give more information. We have derivated the scale of maps. We have the 1.5 thousand, and we generalize the map from 100 and 1 million. This production we use on the GeoPortal. I will open the GeoPortal of agency for 1 minute, and you can choose all the information there. Sure, we accept that the climate change is a problem, and that makes us to collect the data and to create a new generation of map when we have put together the disaster information and the disaster problem of our country. We have 2 floods, aircraft, and sure, another is the problem or the yes. We have the LiDAR production, have now 3 projects with European institution, the Commission of European Union, and with a budget from Iceland and Norway. And we fly on the country, and we will have the new information by LiDAR systems, DTM and DSM, like you know. LiDAR application is for the flood risk analysis, flood simulation, and analyzing for erosion and deposition of potential of river channel by hydraulic model. You use the LiDAR data to create susceptibility maps for landslides. This is the image for the LiDAR. We transform this information in a vector information and use and integrate in our map. This is some example for landslides. Some from the urban area, because we fly now, and all the with the plane. We have orthophoto and true orthophoto for all the municipality of Romania. Have a big project now. We are in increase, and we will have new information about the 3D modeling, and the maps will be compatible with the scale 1 to 500. Will be a detail. The precision of the information in Bucharest will be 3 or 5 to 5 centimeters, and for another town who represent the county, the capital of the county, will more than 10 centimeters. We will have a good source for information. Orthophoto and true orthophoto for all the city. You have here in comparison the images. And sure, for cadastral TD mesh, because it's very important to have in a relief, to have the buildings and to can make an analysis about architecture. We fly by the city with the aerial photo in 3 dimensions. Yes, and we will have the face of the buildings and can to protect the information on the highest buildings. Look, this is possible to have a big analyzing in 3-dimensional like mesh. Sorry. This is the gravity, the heart of the gravity. We can't to have the measurements in the field by leveling because it's so expensive and many peoples. And in this situation, we calculate the altitude, normal altitude reported by the Black Sea by gravity information and maintain the maps on all the day. Sure, here is the conclusion. We try to maintain our center in the focus on all the priority of the country. Our information use it by all the municipality and all the ministry in Romania. Work in the European project with the university and the Institute for Research. And all our information is open on the internet, and for the public institution is free. For all the public institution, the informations are free. Yeah. Okay, was a pleasure for me to speak with you and to be in your face. Thank you so much. And if you have some questions, please. Yes, I want to show the 1 second because I want to look. Yes, yes. Please help me.
No. Is I have to stop this one, and I have to share
Yes, sir, I will.
that one.
Yes.
Okay.
If you want to open our page of internet, is you will bring the page of internet on the book and put the link and look. This is top row 5. Yes. Look how many details was.
Just 1 second, because I have.
Okay.
We cannot see that. I don't know why. Yeah, because we have to start. Yeah, we have to stop the presentation for.
Okay.
Okay, I will close
If
that,
colleague in the
and I will close again that. Maybe you will see.
Okay, this is the map. This is the official map, and please see you how many information was collected to have this map in this detail. If you go zoom and zoom, you can have here the streets. This is the streets. This is the buildings. On the buildings have the postal number and the address. We collected also the address of all the buildings in the country. And it's like a Google. If you want to go to the address, bring the address in the phone and can to go. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I will wait your information after the presentation of Mr. It's okay. Yes, I will keep it here. Thank you so much.
So now we have a connection. We will be connected to Pakistan. Mr. Basharat Khan will introduce himself. So I leave. Sorry about that. Yeah. Hi.
Hello, hello.
So I leave the word to Mr. Basharat Khan. Okay. There's no.
Yes. Can you hear me? Hello. Is it okay? Hello.
No.
Is it?
Try to do it without the headphone. Maybe it's better.
Is it okay?
No, it's not better. We cannot.
It's better.
No.
Excuse me. 1 minute.
Second. Accidente ai pesci della distanza.
One
Eh?
minute, please. Yeah, I am just fixing
No,
it.
però
Hello.
professore. Just 1 second. Try again. Try again.
Hello. It's okay?
No, it's not a problem of headphone.
It's okay now?
Scusa,
Sì, sì, sì.
My
It's on.
engineer is with
We
me.
cannot hear you.
We cannot hear you.
Yeah.
No, aspetta, qui lo sentiamo sul computer.
Is it okay now?
A second. I will try to put your voice on the headphone and on the speakers. Headphone.
I think it's problem at your end. My end, it's okay.
Can you everybody hear? Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Hello. Can everyone hear me? Okay.
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 You can introduce yourself.
My name. This
And we
is
are very
Bisharat Khan. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Just
Good
1 second.
morning, everybody.
I wanted to tell you that we are really, really sorry that you cannot be here with us.
No issues. No issues. It's my luck.
Good luck. I leave you.
Good luck. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good morning to everyone from different part of the world. This is Bisharat Khan from Pakistan. I was part of your team, as a participant in this training, but unfortunately, due to late arrival of my visas, myself and my group couldn't participate in this training program. Hope you are enjoying and you are learning from this forum. My presentation would be with you regarding the measures taken by the Pakistan for flood management and drought management. I will share it. I will share my presentation with you. Hello. Can you share my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Is it visible to you? Hello. This is the map of Pakistan and the flood risk map of Pakistan, where the flood areas which are the flood prone. These are the areas of Pakistan. In red, you can see that these are the areas which are very prone to the floods due to riverine floods, due to rain floods, and different reasons. These areas are very prone to floods, and every year they receive little bit floods. Sometimes they receive extensive floods. Actually, the flood is the most devastating nature of hazard in Pakistan, and recent flood of 2022 has demonstrated its severeness. Floods are common throughout the country. However, their characteristics differ from region to region. Monsoon rains are the main source of the flood in Pakistan. Floods are recurring events in the Pakistan. It's a recurring event in Pakistan. Pakistan has been experiencing flood mainly because of the topography, Sindh, Kabul, and Swat. There are three main rivers which affects Pakistan due to the floods. These are the rivers which came from the northern areas and enter to the sea from the Sindh province. You might have, this is the picture of the recent flood which received by the province of Sindh at Pakistan. It was a very devastating sort of flood. Am I audible to you? Hello.
Okay, it's okay.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. So, Federal Flood Commission was established in 1977. Before that, there was no federal entity which was responsible for flood management. Due to the floods of 1973 and 76, which causes huge losses to the masses and to the properties. And in 1977, Federal Flood Commission was established under the federal government, which is responsible for the flood management. In Pakistan, flood management is of two types. In both structural and non-structural flood management system is adopted. For non-structural flood forecasting and warnings, and permanent relocation of the people who are living in the areas which are more prone to the floods, they are relocated. And flood insurance is a common practice in Pakistan. The crops, the properties which are prone, which are vulnerable to the floods, they are insured normally. And land use regulation, government has strict rules and acts to prevent the constructions near the river sides and the areas which are the flood prone. And flood plan mapping is another measure, a non-structural measure adopted by the Pakistan to mitigate the impact of the floods. For structural measures, Pakistan, we construct new flood protection infrastructure in vulnerable reaches along major and other rivers. The major rivers which are causing the floods, their flood protection structures to protect the properties, protect the agricultural land, to protect the civil societies. These flood protection infrastructure is to be built. And upgradation of and remodeling of the rivers and the infrastructure which is already available. Its upgradation is a common phenomena in Pakistan. And flood management at hill and at hill torrents through construction small dams. Through construction of small dams, delay action dams is also a practice in Pakistan. Flood management structures for mitigating the flood flows and for agriculture development and adequate budget from the provincial governments is kept to manage the flood protection works. And we have a Sparko, it's a IT based solution for the flood monitoring. This is also one of the preventive measures government of Pakistan is taking. Flood management in Pakistan, in order to safeguard the Indus Valley, which is the most prone to the flood, because all the rivers landed in this valley, which is also called as the Sindh Valley. That most of the time the riverine areas they inundation take place, and embutments are constructed along the major rivers and their tributaries in Pakistan. On project to protect the embutments, those embutments which are constructed to prevent the population, there are some sort of spurs are also to protect the bridges, to protect the barrages, and to protect the erosions. Spurs are constructed. These two pictures are shared. It was constructed under the in last 2 years. These are two areas. One is the most hilly area, and one is the plain area. And in plain areas, earthen embedments are constructed, and in the hilly areas we construct RCC and the fixed spurs. Flood mapping is also, flood plans are also mapped due to mapping of the different vulnerable areas where these areas lies. Suppose we have 5 rivers: Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Sutlej, Kabul, Swat, and Panchkhoda. These are the rivers which flows from the Pakistan, and normally these river cause floods, and their continuous mapping and vulnerable areas and vulnerable reaches are identified, that where to build the protection work, from where the vulnerable areas, from where the flood can enter into the population, are always monitored. And provinces to prepare the pass and act. There are the acts which are prepared by the provincial government to protect the to protect the develop the web GIS based inventory showing the complete history of existing floods protection and river training works along main rivers, secondary, tertiary rivers, including the hill torrents and local nalas and entire country in the entire of the entire country. Though local tributaries which contribute to the rivers, they also cause damages when the cloud burst or heavy rains received in at the mountains. Identification. This is the provision of escape channels. One other measures which is being adopted by the Pakistan, which is the provision of escape channels. From there are some deserts in the plains, so normally the floods are the escape channels are built to escape to divert the flood water to these. Uh, Hello, can you hear me? Hello, am I audible? Hello.
See, it's okay.
Okay, sure. So these escape channels are normally diverted to the deserts where no population and no properties, no agriculture is available. So normally these deserts receive the excessive water to protect the populations from the flood. These are some GIS solutions. You know, GIS solutions are also adopted by Pakistan. GIS and remote sensing is an important tool for detecting or identifying the flood prone areas and also find out the topography of that specific area. Satellite images used for identifying the flood hazards areas in Pakistan. Through the data of GIS, we can create resilient infrastructure for the flood protection in the flood prone areas. So GIS mapping, GIS remote sensing is also used to identify the areas and to protect the areas from this. This is all about the flood protection measures of Pakistan. Any question on this? Should I move?
Sì, ok, it's okay. Va bene.
Okay, this is second part of my presentation is drought management in Pakistan. These are the areas which are drought prone due to low precipitation. These are the areas where normally these areas are drought prone. You can see that the dark highlighted areas, these are the flood prone areas, and the yellowish one is the high and then medium and then low, and not very few areas. Because Pakistan is a very diversified country, but due to the climate change impacts, we have received the changed climatic and weather conditions, due to which, you know, always we are facing the problems of drought and floods. This is the introduction of the drought and institutional framework. Pakistan Meteorological Department is a sole national agency which has the mandate to monitor and analyze various meteorological aspects, including the drought phenomena in the country. Emergency relief centers are also formed at central level and at the provincial level to manage the droughts. A small unit named ERC exists in the cabinet division to coordinate various relief division activities in different affected areas in country. Then we have at provincial level, we have different type of forums like Provincial Relief Commission, Drought Crisis Control Centers, Provincial Drought Management Committee, and Provincial DERA units, which are functional at the provincial level. top of it, there is emergency relief cells at federal level. Technological options and measures to overcome the future challenges in the water sector and to less impact of the drought by damage the existing countries water resources. Available technological measures can broadly be lumped into following major categories: climate control, macro level interventions, farm level interventions, and crop based intervention. These are some measures which are being adopted by the Pakistan to manage and to mitigate the floods. Macro level is the surface water storage. You know, most of the countries use this practice. Surface water storage, the flash floods and the rainwater, they are stored in the dams, in reservoirs to use in the incident of the droughts. And there is a Radkui management. Radkui management is a local term that the areas which are arid areas where normally the irrigation is not available and agriculture is not irrigation agriculture, where no water source is available. So what people are doing, what government of Pakistan is doing, that they channelize the rainwater to some small dams and they just store it there, and those ratkuis, those water sources are used for the agriculture purpose later on. Rainwater harvesting on the top mountains, you know, there are rainwater harvesting structures, because these rainwater harvesting structures, the water from the rainwater harvesting structure may be used to daily use for their animal drinking, for their washing, for their agriculture, and so many things. There are so many rainwater harvesting structures being constructed up side and in the hilly areas of the country. And rational groundwater abstraction. Normally, you know, Pakistan received drought in its Balochistan province, which is the major producer of the apple and high delta crops. When this drought happened there, the crops were badly damaged. After that, the government of Pakistan imposed some regulations on the farmers that they cannot abstract the water, groundwater irrationally. So rational groundwater abstraction is a common practice now, and wastewater recycling and desalination is also a practice which is adapted to mitigate the drought. And rehabilitation of distribution network. Pakistan has a very good distribution network of the rivers and the canals. So always government of Pakistan and federal government and the provincial government, they continuously rehabilitate. There are irrigation department working on in all four provinces and the territories which are attached to the Pakistan. They rehabilitate these water channels and these canals. Farm level interventions are prioritized irrigation system, pressurized irrigation system. Pressurized irrigation system where, you know, in our Potwar region, we use drip irrigation, we use some different techniques to minimize the pressure on the precipitation and the drought management. Crop based management. Normally, as I already told you, that there were a practice of high delta crops growing in the Balochistan province, in the other province as well. Now people are very much inclined to the low delta crops, like olive is a common practice in those areas which are the arid areas. Normally from apples, from high delta crops, people are shifting their crops to the olive and other low delta crops. And then the plantation is always being done. Before that, there was a conventional type of plowing and the plantation. Now they are the fir plantation, bed fir plantation is adopted. And conservation of tillage. Tillage is normally agriculture. These farmers, they use zero tillage practices to plow their fields. Thank you very much. Any question? Hello. I cannot listen you.
Paola,
Hello.
molto loud un po'. Ringrazio.
So if there are any questions, is there any question for Professor Basharat Khan? Okay, we have no question. So I thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, and have a nice time.
I catch you in the few days, next days. I will send you everything, all the links also for the registration.
Sorry?
Okay? I will send you also the link for the registration of all days. We'll have a channel on YouTube.
Okay.
You will see that.
I will try my level best to be in touch with you, and in future, inshallah, our collaboration will be strengthened. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So now, vogliamo iniziare subito o preferisce?
Pausa. Senti.
Would you like to have 5 minutes of break? And then we do the presentation of Professor Morbidelli from the University of Perugia. Okay, but just 5 minutes. Okay.
Senti.
Yes, also, if there are any questions for Miss Ileana Spiroiu, okay.
No, ma anche con lui prima guardavamo.
No,
No, non sapeva niente.
è questa, no?
Ma magari era privato di qualcuno,
Esatto.
era personale. Si preoccupava Paola per niente.
Ce l'avevo a casa poi.
Tanti anni a fare. Vado?
Sì, ci sta un paio di ragazze che stanno al bagno.
Certo. Okay, we can start. Good morning to everyone. My name is Renato Morbidelli, and I teach at Perugia University. My main interest is for water resource management and hydrology. So I am basically I am hydrologist. Can you can see that we speak about water and sustainability, and in a particular period, in a period that you know very well, the climate is changing. Okay, this is the topic of this short presentation. Okay, no, sorry. Okay, you know very well why we are in a period where the climate is changing. You know very well that around the Earth we have an atmosphere that is very important, because without the atmosphere in the Earth, we will stay at a temperature about 20 degrees below the zero. So the life could be very hard without atmosphere. With the atmosphere, the average temperature is 15 degrees above the zero. So completely different to have or not the atmosphere. What is the problem? The problem is that the density of the atmosphere is increasing too much due to many kind of gases, but in particular CO2 is one of the main gas that is too much present in the atmosphere. Someone say that many times in the heat, the temperature was much higher than now. It is true. As you can see in this graph, this graph is very interesting because please consider that the x-axis is logarithmic. So it starts at the Big Bang and it arrived to now. And as you can see, the zero is the average temperature in the heat in the pre-industrial period, okay? So you can see that initially we had in the heat 4, 5, 6 degrees more than the average temperature. But we were not there. There was no demand in the heat. So it is true that temperature changed a lot. And sometimes the temperature was very high in the heat, but we were not there. Please consider that the Homo sapiens, I have not about 200,000 years ago, the Homo sapiens. So, as you can see, the man lived in the heat in the last period where the temperature reached a good equilibrium. Okay, the problem is that in the last years, now you can see the upper graph, after 2000 or more years of equilibrium, you can see that the temperature is going up significantly. Another interesting result. This is Killing and its graph. It is very interesting because Killing was the first researcher that measured the carbon dioxide at the Hawaii Island because it was very far from big cities. And as you can see, in the last 60, 70 years, the carbon dioxide is going up significantly. But you can say 60 years are sufficient to understand what is happening or not? In my opinion, not. But we have different results where we can see what is happening. Look at this result, very interesting. This is, if you look at the blue line, this is a very special result that Italian and French researchers obtained with a special project which name was EPICA. They went to Antarctic and they took more than 3 kilometers of ice core in the ground, more than 3 kilometers. Why it has been very important? Because in that ice, we had entrapped the air that we had until 800,000 years ago. So we can see what is happening, what happened in this period, in this large period. And you can see that we had variation in carbon dioxide, but between 180 and 280 about part per million. Okay, but if you see now the star, the star now is too old because it is indicated about 400 part per million. Today we are 430 part per million. And for each year, we are increasing 2-3 parts per million. So this is the problem. And when you say we have no problem because the variation happened always, you said this is not true, because we had variation, but different variation. Okay. This increasing of carbon dioxide and also other gases in the atmosphere produce very important changement in the atmosphere, in the earth, in the hydrological cycle. You know, the hydrological cycle is due to the sun. The sun is the power. The sun and the changing in temperature. When temperature change, water do something. And you can see some part of the hydrological cycle here, but we should see much more. Okay. In this figure, you can see much more processes about the hydrological cycle, because the hydrological cycle, the figure before you was with the natural hydrological cycle. But we have to consider that the men do many things with water, for example, irrigation. So the hydrological cycle change do also the presence of the man in the earth. The problem is that the hydrological cycle is changing. It is changing in a way different from different geographical zones. For example, why? Because the temperature are changing in a different way. If you look at this figure, this is by the IPCC, you can see that in the north of the Earth, the temperature is changing 3-4 degrees more than the average temperature. And there are different geographical areas with different geographical increasing of temperature. And this produces a very different effect on the Earth, on different geographical areas of the Earth. For example, look at the rainfall, precipitation. It is not easy to see, but in this figure, you can see what happened on the left and what will happen on the right with average increase in temperature in the Earth. And you can see that there are geographical areas where we are waiting for much more rain, but geographical areas, including Mediterranean zone, where we are waiting for much less rain. And this is a very big problem for people that stay in these areas, because we are in a particular equilibrium. Now we know something in Italy because we have a temperature of a kind, because we have some rain. But if we change temperature and rain, we need to change our life. Also, this figure is very, very interesting because there are information about hydrometric stations around the rivers. When you see a point red, you have a place where there is much less water than the past. So now the water on the river in that places is much less. When you see blue points, you can see stations along some rivers where there is much more water than in the past. So in some geographical areas, you have more rain and more water on the river. In some other geographical areas, you have much less water on the river because you have much less rain. Now you are in Umbria. Umbria is a region in central Italy, typically very green. What is happening in our region and what is happening in central Italy in this moment? I can show you some interesting results that we obtained and we published in this report. This is the report 2021. Now we are publishing the new report, the 2023, where we put some results, some data about temperatures, about rainfall, where we can see what is happening in central Italy. Something about air temperature. These graphs are very small, but you can understand easily what mean. On the left, you can see we are in Orvieto. The station is Orvieto. On the left, you can see 1 point for each year. That means on the top, the minimal temperature on the air, and then average and then maximum temperature. Each point, what mean? During a day, you have temperature that change. You have a maximum temperature, today maybe 37 here. You have a minimum temperature, maybe 20 today, and you have an average temperature. Each day you have a maximum, a minimum, and an average. If you do the average along 1 year, you can have 1 point for the maximum, 1 point for the average, 1 point for the minimum. If you put these points along an x-axis with the time, you can see the time is from about 1950 to today. If you put this point along this graph, you can see what is happening to the temperature. And you can see that the minimum, the average, and the maximum temperature in Orvieto are changing. The trend is clear. The trend is very clear. And if you see the extreme of the trend, you can see that here the temperature in central Italy, the temperatures are changing more than in the average of the year. We are about 2 degrees more than the pre-industrial period. And you can say, but this is Orvieto. What is happening in different stations? This is Perugia. Much more than 2 degrees of increase. This is Spoleto. I could show you all Umbria stations, and the temperature here is increasing dramatically. It is interesting also to see, I will be fast, but it is interesting also to see what is happening in different seasons. If in the winter you have a trend, in the summer you have another trend, no, you have the same trend in the summer, in winter, autumn, spring, it's the same. Here you can see January, April, July, and October, but you can see that the increasing is very clear. Another important index for the climate, the total annual rainfall. You know, the water that we use derives from the rainfall. So it is very important to see what is happening to the rainfall. the results are not very good. Here you can see the result for Gualdo, Tadino, Gubbio, and Monte del Lago, 3 different places in central Italy, in Umbria. And you can see the total amount of rain, one data for each year. And the x-axis is very long because we started the observation about in 1920. We have 1 century of data. So 1 century of data is, they are many data. You can say what is happening. And you can see that this total amount is decreasing clearly. If I change stations, you have the same results. Todi, Orvieto, Terni. So the station that is here in these buildings. And you can see that the rainfall decrease with a gradient of about 1–2 millimeters less for each year. In 1 year, it is not important. If next year we will have 2 millimeters less of rain, it's not a problem. In 10 years, it means 20, 30, 40 millimeters less. In 100 years, it is dramatic. Raininess, day of rain. On the top, the total rainy days in 1 year, they are decreasing. And then also the day with rain more than 10 millimeters on day with rain more than 20 millimeters are decreasing. So the total amount and the days of rain are decreasing. Remember this data. Another index, different, because if we speak about the total amount of rain, we speak of the water resource management. If we speak about the intense rainfall events, we speak about floods, landslides. So this is another problem. We look at in this case, Gualdo Tadino station, we look at the maximum rainfall depth for duration 1 hour, maximum rainfall depth with duration 3 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours in these graphs. So each point is the maximum rainfall for each duration in that year. And you can see also in this case about a century of data. And you can see that there is no clear trend. For the intense rainfall, for rainfall that produce disasters. Here in central Italy, we are not a trend. Some graphs look with a small decreasing, some other with a small increasing, some other are horizontal. So there is not a trend. Remember this data. Intense rainfall are the same today than 90, 80 years ago. This is another interesting results, but we already speak about this because in this graph you can see the water volume in a very important station in Umbria. This station is Ponte Nuovo. Ponte Nuovo include a basin about 4,000 square kilometers, and it is a station very old, so we have a century of data. And we can see if the water is the same today that 80 years ago. But you can see that today we have much less water in this river, in this station. This is similar to the results we saw before with the points red or blue. In Italy, all stations have this problem. In the north of Europe, they have the opposite problem. They have too much water. We have few water, less water. And what we can do, as you can, you saw, also in Umbria, in central Italy, we have a big problem because we have too high temperatures and we have few water. The water is decreasing. The availability of water is decreasing. So we have to do something. Okay, what we can do? We can do many things. For example, we can reduce the water consumption, but we can use water, but we have to reduce the wastage. It is not the same if we do a shower 5 minutes or 20 minutes. For a shower, it's for a man. For a woman, some minutes more, but for a man, 5 minutes are sufficient. If we do a shower for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, we are put away the water. We have to reduce this fast. Another interesting topic, we can use water to produce energy. We know that hydropower systems are wonderful. In this way, we can reduce the carbon dioxide, okay? Because it is renewable, the energy with hydropower. Another interesting topic, we have to respect the rivers. Why we have to respect the rivers? Because I can anticipate this point. Because before you saw that the intense rainfall here are the same. They are not changing. But we can ask why we have an increasing of floods and landslides also in central Italy. If the intense rainfall are the same, why? I believe you can give to me the answer, because the problem is that we in Italy, but in many other countries, wielded in everywhere. Along the river, now you can see cities, industrial areas, many houses. Okay, so if today we have a flood, today we have many damages. We can lose lives. Okay, 100 years ago, if we had the flood in the same place, probably the water didn't meet nothing. This is the big problem about floods and landslides. It is in this area, it is not the intense rainfall the problem. The problem is what the man did in an area. I want to speak a few minutes about the first two topics that you can see here. Because about the reduction of water consumption, I organized with my students in the last 3 years, 3 different contests with 3 different objectives. You can see 3 years ago, the objective was reduce the domestic water consumption. 2 years ago, the contest was with the objective to reduce the water consumption in the university building. Last year, the objective was to design a special bathroom that consume few water. And the results have been very interesting, because students are wonderful. When they have a competition, they are really nice. I can show you some results, but this year, finally, we did the experiment indicated with the red. because it has been interesting to see if the sensibilization has a value or not. If I say to you, be careful, don't put away the water, what you do in your house? It was very, very interesting. So I can show you some results now. But before, these are some concepts. On the left, the idea that want the first competition, the reducing of water use in the domestic area, in the houses. It was very nice, this result, because it was light that become red, more red, depending the use of the water. And then with a small sensor, we registered in an app the consume of water in the house, so each people can see what is happening in the house. It was very, very nice. I cannot to spend too much time to describe these results, but the results were very interesting. On the right, you can see the idea that won the second competition about the university buildings. It was a special bedroom to realize inside the bedroom that we have now, with lower consume of water. Other idea, this is on the left, a special shower. On the right, the accumulation of water to reuse. The interesting thing was that many students, many teams, because they realized that teams, decided to realize messages, videos to produce sensibilization in the people. I can show you one, maybe. I don't know if the video work. Yeah, look. Many Italian places with water. Venice, Rome, Milan. If the water go, you can see this. Florence, this is Florence. Rome, the Spain square. If we be careful, the world can be better. This is in Italian language, I'm sorry. Reduce the consume of water for a better world. So, students, not me. But this is a message. And at the end, this year, I tried to do the experiment to see if messages like this can produce effect. I can show you the result. I go very fast. This is a special bedroom that won the 3rd competition. I go fast. This is a master thesis, interesting. This is the experiment. Experiment we did this year in about 40 different buildings. And we had about 400 participants to this project. And what I asked to the students, I asked to measure the consumption of water in their house. First phase, to observe the normal consume in the house. Then I asked to sensibilize the people in the house to reduce the consume, but just to reduce the wastage. You have to use water, but you have not put away water. After the sensibilization, they measured another time the consume of water in the house. Look in this case. This is a real case. From a comparison, we could see if the sensibilization can produce effect or not. In this case, in this house, they saved about 13% of water. It is not bad. The total results are this. In some cases, look on the left, in some houses, they consumed more than before. So maybe they speak with the parents or brother, and they consumed more. They didn't think nothing. As you can see, the better results is less 11%. But in some cases, look on the right, they saved 50% of water. The average of this experiment is about 70% of saved water. It is not bad, 17%. This is just to have an idea if the sensibilization is useful or not. If it is not useful, we don't spend money or time to do this. In my opinion, in our opinion, the sensibilization is important. Produce a good result. The other interesting topic, I go at the end very fast. The other interesting topic is to use the water to produce energy, renewable energy. This is on the right, the Italian condition of renewable energy. The total with the gray color, you can see the total production of renewable energy in Italy along the years. And you can see that about 50% of renewable energy is produced with hydropower systems. So Italian people is not bad with hydropower system. In Europe, it's not bad. In the US, it's not bad. But there are many geographical areas in the world where the potential of the water is not used. I don't know if you know how we can produce water, energy from the water. Probably yes, I don't know. You can see this figure. If you don't do nothing, the potential of the energy in the water go away when the water move in the river. But if you I have no pointer, but if you take water in another way, if you save the energy of the water and use another way with the smooth channel or pipeline, and you change the energy from potential to kinetic, and then you meet a turbine, it becomes mechanical energy, and then in the same axis you put a generator and it becomes energy. Then you can put the water in the river. You didn't use nothing more than energy. the energy of the water. If you don't do nothing, the energy, you lost the energy during the way of the water along the river. But you can do this, and you can produce a lot of energy. Just a look in Umbria. This is the situation in Umbria about the hydropower system. We have about 40 hydropower systems in Umbria. As you can see, where we have these systems along the Tiber River, the first river, and close to the mountains, because to produce energy, we need water and we need levels, different levels. So the mountain are much better than the flat. Just to show you some pictures about Umbrian hydropower system. These are barriers, because if you want to realize an hydropower system, you need a barrier, always. It can be very important like this, but also very small barriers. Look, I go very fast to show you different barriers in different hydropower system in Umbria. Then the intake works, where the water moves from the river to the systems. Many different, many dimensions. They are completely different, each other. Channels. The bypass channels are important because there you save energy. The loaded tanks, where the water stop and go inside the pipes. The pipes, the forced conduits before the tube. Some are very important, 3-4 meters of diameter. In other situations, they are smaller. This is small, smaller. This is the smaller one in Umbria. The buildings, power station buildings, this is the more important. This is close to the Marmore waterfall. This is exceptional. But there are also small hydropower systems with small building. And finally, the electromechanical units, what you can see inside. There is the turbine and there is the electrical part. This is not in use. This is wonderful. It is in wood. 18 years ago, they had not the problem to change the potential energy in electrical energy. They changed the potential energy in mechanical energy with this system. And disaster and the respect of the river we spoke before. So I can stop here, but we saw that the interaction between water and sustainability, it is very important, and we can do many things to use water in a sustainability way. So I thank you for your attention. If you have questions, I'm here some other minutes. Come? Okay. One question here.
Credo che tutte le opere di presa idraulica per produzione di energia sono datate. Stiamo parlando di tutte opere, penso, anni 60, 70, quindi Purtroppo
Anche.
non c'è questa cultura per produrre nuova energia, a meno che non siano a minori impatti ambientali.
No, no.
So he said, he saw that all the works are basic, like very old works. But
Quindi ad oggi non c'è questa volontà, anche per tutela paesaggistica d'altro, di creare sbarramenti per poter produrre energia. C'è il modo di fare qualcosa per produrre energia a più basso impatto ambientale? Questa è la prima parte. La seconda è quella invece che riguarda il discorso di quello che ha fatto vedere prima sugli eventi estremi, perché lì c'è molta linearità. Quello che vediamo oggi noi è proprio questo decrescere dei flussi medi, come giustamente hai fatto vedere, ma l'improvviso, l'intolleranza del territorio ad accogliere eventi estremi, e questo ci sta un po' distruggendo. Questo per quanto riguarda l'Umbria, ma appunto avendo persone internazionali, magari se puoi dire qualcosa di come. La risposta come nelle diverse parti
something that is like this, and then you start a bit and you translate for them, and then you do it by yourself. No,
L'importante è la risposta. L'importante è la risposta alla domanda.
There are two very interesting questions.
Grazie.
First question. He said that he saw very old systems in Umbria. It is true. And he said, why there are no more recent systems? Firstly, because in Italy, we have been very good people with this problem. We started 80, 70, 60 years ago to build these systems. So they are old, but they are working very well. When you realize an hydropower system today, it may work for 50, 60, 80 years without any problems. So when you look, you look very old conditions of the very old systems. The second thing important that we have to say is that in Italy, the more interesting situations have been realized, where we have a lot of, where we had and we have a lot of water and different levels to use this water to produce energy. The Italian people arrived and realized hydropower system. So now what we can do in Italy? We can do many small systems. We have the possibility to realize the smaller systems, not the bigger, because in Italy and in Europe, about 50–60% of the potential is using, have been realized, sorry. Okay, so we are very close to the maximum level of utilization of these systems. But as I said before, there are geographical areas in the world where the potential is used 10%, 15%, 20%. And the maximum physiological limit is about 60%. So we can do a lot of things in many other areas in the world. We can do also something in Umbria, in Italy, but small realizations, many small. Okay, this is why you saw old pictures, old systems. This was the first question. The second question was linked with this picture, with the disaster. And he said, he confirmed what I said before, that in many geographical areas, the problem of the disaster, if what the men do along the river with buildings, with impermeable areas, when it rains, if you have a country place, the water can go down inside and go in the ground floor. If you realize park, cities, roads, the water when arrive at the level of the terrain cannot to go inside and move fastly and produce much more effect. Also, if the rain is the same, okay, this is the problem in many areas. If you go in another area where the extreme events changed, the problem is different. Here in Umbria, we know, because we studied, that the extreme events didn't change. Okay? Other questions? Yeah.
All this produced what atmosphere, land, the sources of water. We need to think about to work in cooperation. Between all the programs, United Nations, for example, now, but it's not. We see all these programs and returning back to get another reaction. How we can work together and organize ourselves to be in touch all the time, because you are talking about the North countries, Europe was outside this world and Israelis. But what about the South countries, for example, in Africa, South America? It's the same problem.
Yes. I agree with you. All these problems cannot to be solved in Italy or in France or in small areas. We have to work all together. In particular, for the problem of the emission of the carbon dioxide. If me and you buy an electrical car, we do an interesting thing, but it is not useful. If in China or in India or in other parts, they continue to use carbon. The problem is that in all the world, people have to stay together to solve these problems. Otherwise, there are no possibility to save the human.
Next, next. Work people, country will be at. Problem for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the statement. It's not much to see, for example, Europe always is between 30 or 32.
Yeah. Sure, I agree with you. I agree. Other questions? No. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Another question.
Il problema con l'acqua è quella di trasformare energia potenziale in energia cinetica. La mia domanda di prima era questa, cioè ci sono studi per fare in modo che questa trasformazione di energia possa avvenire a minore impatto ambientale, cioè che non sia necessario costruire dighe di queste estensioni, che non abbiamo tutto il Nilo o il Congo per questi massimi grandi acqua.
Ma l'impatto ambientale ormai è minimizzato in queste realizzazioni. He said the environmental impact of the hydropower system can be reduced. My opinion is that the impact is not important because we are able to realize a very good hydropower system that have only the problem to have visibility, because they have no impact in the air, no impact in the water, no impact in nothing. Surely, he said, if we realize a big lake with a big dam, the impact is evident, sure. But in any case, you can realize a lake and a dam with respect for the environmental. You can see the Tiber River and the dam we showed before, close to here. Corbara Lake is a nice place. It is artificial, but it's a nice place. I don't know if without the dam, the river was better. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Because now the environmental place is nice. And they produce a lot of energy, but very, very large quantities.
I have a question. The Mali people, yeah, they asked me if there are any system of recycling water.
Many. There are many.
Example, do you know about Oviedo?
No, in Umbria we have no many realization to recycle water.
Yeah.
But in the scientific literature, you can find many things about the recycling.
Yeah.
In particular, now they are working to reuse the water. When you put away water in the cities, they have very bad water.
Yeah.
They go to clean this water and then they go back to the river. This is what we do now in this area, for example. One way to reuse the water is to clean the water and then to use it for agricultural use, for example. It is difficult to use that water in the houses, but we could with better system, not with the system we have now. In the agricultural, for the irrigation, we can use the water, for example.
Okay. Any other questions? No?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. So now we have, in theory, 15 minutes, but I asked Auri if it's possible to have 20-25 minutes break, because before here we had to stretch the presentations of Mr. Basharat Khan, that was supposed to be after him, because they had problems in connection with Pakistan. So we had to stretch up and they need a break to just rest a bit. Yeah, is that possible? 20 minutes break. Thank you very much. No, abbiamo fatto allora, un attimo soltanto, interrompo la connessione. So now We are going to listen to Auri. Auri is an agency, Umbrian agency, for the integrated water service and also for waste. But today they are going to talk to you about the integrated water service. Now I'm leaving you with the director of Auri, and he will introduce himself like everybody did, and I'm going to catch the others. Okay?
The slide.
Slide, condivisione schermo. Eccole qua. Fermo due, perfetto, condividi. Perfetto. Può andare con lo spazio, con le freccette, come preferisci.
Okay.
Poi.
Good morning. I apologize for my scholastic English. I am not speak very fluently, but I hope that my speech will be clear for you, and I apologize in advance. I am Giuseppe Rossi. I am director of Auri. Auri means Umbria Authority Waste and Hydric. And I am here in substitution of my colleague, Dr. Sandro Rossignoli, that had a little family problem. I am here with my colleague. There is Engineer Michele Meccarelli. He is a column of Auri in the field of water system, and he helped me to show you the project that we will show you today. One advice, in Italy, the hydric system is a regulated market. Okay, so we have a national authority that is ARERA. The name of authority is ARERA, and so all the manage of the hydric system is regulated by this national authority. It's important to know the situation in general. Allora, come si fa? Okay. What is the integrated water service? Consists in accord to ARERA resolution, you can see the integrated water service encompasses a set of public service related to the collection, adduction, and distribution of water for domestic services, sewage management, and wastewater treatment. This includes the collection and adduction service that cater to various water uses, as well as purification service for combined domestic and industrial applications. The management of the integrated water service is expected to adhere to principle of efficiency, effectiveness, and economy, while also complying with both national and the European Union regulation. It's important because Italy, take part of the European Union because many rules came from European rule in the field of water management. It also includes the construction of water and the sewage pipelines, branching off from the main network serving one or more users. It encompasses the installation and associated components, network separation, removal or intake points, and the creation of derivation manholes.
B, the activities of a collection and the removal of stormwater and urban drainage through the operation and the maintenance of a dedicated infrastructure, storm sewers, including the cleaning and the maintenance of the roadside drains. However, for the purposes of determining fees, we are not already included in the integrated water service as of the date of the publication of the above resolution. These activities are to be considered included among the non-water activities that also use infrastructure of integrated water service. And this is big problem for the municipality in particular, because this water not managed by alone. Better, only the municipality take care of this problem. The performance of ancillary service on behalf of user, such as activation, disactivation, and reactivation of a supply, change of use, sub-entries, preparation of estimates, one-time readings, inspection, and the verification. D, the transport and sale of the water by tanker truck or other road vehicles in case of emergency situation. This is a particular task. How is the integrated water service organized? I say you that we have a regulated market, but we have also many rules, many regulation, national and regional. The governance. The integrated water system service is organized on the basis of ambiti territoriali ottimali, ATO, portions of territory whose delimitation is defined by the regions in accordance with the following principles: coherence of the river basin or sub-basin or contiguous river basin. 2, the management is in one hand. 3, adequacy of a management size defined on the basis of a physical, demographic, and the technical parameters. For each ATO, there is an ente di governo d'ambito, EGA, which is a body also nominated by the region in which all the municipalities in the ETO are obliged to participate, and which exercise the former municipalities' competence in water resource management, including water infrastructure planning. We are EGA. We are an EGA. We will see the national geography of the reform. You can see the map, Italy, and we have 12 ATO of regional size, like Umbria. You can see Umbria, Toscana, Emilia-Romagna, but there are 50 ETO of a provincial size. Depend on region, depend on the choose of the region legislation. In 1999, there were 7,822 operators active, either as manager or as municipal in-house management. In 2017, they went down to 2,100, with still a large number of municipal in-house managements. In 2019, we arrived at 1,981, of which 243 managers and 1,704 38 municipal in-house management. This is a big problem because there are regions that manage water system in integrated way, but there are many municipal in-house managements that is a problem for the management of the water. The regional geography of the reform. Ambito territoriale ottimale, ATO, of regional size. The meaning operator in the ATO are in the territory of the former AT1 and 2 in the north of the Umbria. The service is entrusted to the operator Umbraque SPA until 2031. In the territory of the former ATI3, the service is entrusted to the operator Valle Umbria Servizi SPA in the east part of Umbria. In the territory of the AT4, the service is entrusted to the operator Servizio Idrico Integrato until 2032. Umbraque is a single service operator operating in subambiti number 1 and 2. I have just said. Valle Umbria Servizi is a multi-service operator and provides the integrated water service in the sub-area number 3. The Valle Umbria Servizi also manage waste system in this territory. Servizio Idrico Integrato is a single service consortium company operating in sub-area number 4. And above in the slide, you can see the number inhabitants, resident population, surface of any singular ATO, ATI, and the length of aqueduct, length of the pipelines. You can see the general description of a water system. What is Resilient Umbria? Is a project that Auri taught to challenge the climate change. We have less water, especially in this period, in summer, and we must do something. And so we took to Resilient Umbria with a project to face this problem. The key words is interconnected system. It's important, this interconnection allows to limit the use of low quality resources in favor of quality, quantity, stable resources. Interconnected means allows the transfer of the flows from one system to another in emergency, limiting interruption in the event of a failure. Interconnected means allows flow rates to be transferred from one system to another, also optimizing withdrawals according to availability. Interconnection allows to overcome water crisis, main water crisis over the last 20 years, 2002, 2007, 2012, 2017, and also 2022, the last year, a great crisis for water supply. The objectives of the proposed plan: interconnection between the Umbrian water system, improvement of the water quality, increasing the resilience of the water system. This is the challenge. Okay, this is the actual situation. We have a system with well fields, Petrignano and Cannara, that interconnected with Perugia and with Assisi. But we have in our region a great dam, a great reservoir. Chiascio River Reservoir is under construction, but we thought that this is an important challenge to connect the reservoir, the Chiascio River Reservoir, with water system, regional water system. And so we have a potabilizer that connected with Chiascio River Reservoir, and you can see that the water is connected with Petrignano and with Perugia and with Assisi, and so you can have more water. The second step of the project foreseen the closure whale fells of Cannara will be closed, okay, and the connected system including Foligno and Spoleto. Okay, we will see how. And the third step is the connection with Terni. Okay, and go. Okay, Terni, vai avanti. You can see the structure of the interconnection system. Okay, and you can see the first step of the project that the number are not true, because the project was adjourned, and now we thought we think to spend almost 150 millions, less and more. Okay, you can see the movie. Okay, the movie show the construction of the pipelines in the Diga Chiascio River Reservoir to potabilizer, partitor, potabilizer, and so the connection with the other territory. Echo, lots foreseen are 4. We are new potabilizers. We are new pipelines for 91 kilometers. Max flow rate was 1,000 liters per second, and operators involved are free. The free operator that we have just so, and town served 30, and the inhabitant served 500,000 inhabitants, less and more. The second step, okay, the second step is the interconnected area of Terni. No, excuse me, of the Lago Trasimeno. And it's important to say this thing. We have another dams in the north of Umbria, River Tevere dams, Monte d'Oglio. This district is already work, and we develop with this district with the red pipeline that you can see in the map in the west part of Umbria region. The other project, right? Okay. We have three objective. The first objective, the connection with the dams, Chiascio dams, with a potabilizer and the territory of Perugia. The second step is the connection with Foligno and Spoleto, and the third and the Terni, and the third part of the project, the connection with River Tevere dams, Monte d'Oglio, in the west part of Umbria region. This is the project, and we think that this project can ensure the security of the system for the future, and we are very proud of this project, and we hope that will be realized very fast, and in the next year. I stop my speech. Excuse me for my English not very fluently, and if you want, you can answer. Can ask, and I answer if I understand your ask.
Okay, so any questions?
Little things that I don't say. This project foreseen the energy recover also, because we try to construct a system that have autonomous energy, that they have the possibility to produce energy, because this is another problem for the water supply.
Yeah, yeah. So any question about this?
Prima di lasciare liberi i tuoi istruzioni.
Ti dico questa sera?
Me lo posso
Un attimo,
dire io in francese, poi...
un attimo soltanto. Quindi, thank you very much. Grazie mille.